Hello and welcome to Marvelocity, the most interesting show in the world. The fuck are you laughing at?
Hello and welcome.
I put myself out there and you fucking yell at me for it.
Yeah,
Wow.
my bad.
You fucking laugh at me? I'm never doing anything again. I'm just going to speak in a monotone for the rest of time.
I hope you show no emotion for the rest of every Thor movie. Because that's what we got in store.
I'm Aubrey.
I'm Jackson.
And this is the worst. This is the worst.
This isn't the worst.
It's not. There's
worse
a lot worse to come.
There's so much worse to come.
Dude, this isn't even the worst Thor movie.
That's so unfortunate.
What did Chris Hemsworth do?
Why was he cursed with such bad writing?
Let me go to our pins. Oh, I don't have the outline pin. That's great. It's so far away. I have to scroll to look for the discussion outline.
You know what? I was doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna pin it.
Oh yeah, pin it.
Why is it spoilered?
I don't know. You did that for some reason.
I didn't. My next message after it was no idea why it's spoilered.
Yeah, but I don't know why you did that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we gotta go
I have to introduce and summarize the movie.
Who wishes to do plot summary?
I'll do the plot summary.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Starts,
hit me with it.
I actually like the way it starts, can I say?
Okay.
I like that it starts on Jane Foster. I like that it starts with him getting hit with her car. And you don't really know what's going on. I like that.
Okay.
I think that's like a clever way of starting. It's like the way the Hulk started, where like if you ignore the weird shitty intro they did for it, it just kind of starts like in media res almost. I like that. I think it's good for a movie like this. It goes downhill when we then cut to Asgard for what could have been a 15-minute scene for 45 fucking minutes. Literally, nearly the first half of this movie is just Thor almost getting coronated, and then frost giants sneak into the vault, and then Odin kills them by tapping his staff once. And then he goes down and he's like, well, I guess that nothing happened. And then Thor is like, fuck, I gotta kill these guys. And then he goes to Jotunheim and commits a genocide, by the way. And then Odin shows up and says, he's just a boy. He's just doing a little genocide as a treat. It's okay. And then they leave, and then he gets banished, and then we cut to the intro. And, like, that whole scene could have been so much shorter. I will say right now, my favorite part of this movie, I've pointed out like a single scene that I've really liked for every movie so far. My favorite one in this one is clearly there was dialogue for Anthony Hopkins to say there as Odin. Mm-hmm. But when Loki started to interrupt, he didn't say like, quiet you, or I'll talk to you later. He just points and goes like, there! And that's like funny. That's good. I really love that.
It is good.
And then Shield shows up, and they find his hammer, and Phil Coulson's like, "Oh fuck, that's a hammer," and they build a big thing around it, and then they steal all of Jane Foster's work, and Phil Coulson's like a dick in this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe he's always a dick, but just compared to Tony Stark, he looks like a normal dude. Because this is the first and only movie where he's not juxtaposed to the shittiest human being I've ever seen. And then, oh my god, and then it's just like a half-baked romance plot, and then Thor goes to get his hammer and he fails, and then they arrest him, and then he gets bailed out somehow. And then Loki comes down and is like, you killed Dad, by the way, LOL, and then leaves. Which is a lie. Loki's just like scheming, and most of his schemes don't make that much sense to me.
They make zero sense.
But we'll talk about that later. Oh my god. And then the Destroyer comes down, and Thor's like, I finally realize what I must do, and he lets himself
get killed.
Kills
himself.
The best scene in the movie, by the way. I actually genuinely think the scene was well done, where he gets killed by the destroyer, and then it starts to leave, and then he gets the hammer. I think that's like a genuinely well done scene, and I liked it. But then he goes back to Asgard and he fights Loki in a fist fight, which we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
And then he destroys the Rainbow Bridge, and Loki kills himself. And then that's the end of the movie.
That's the end of the movie.
It's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little things I like about this movie. There's a lot of little things I don't. There's a lot of big things I don't. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the plot and the writing.
Yeah.
What do you... overall, what do you think the deal with the writing is?
I think the writing is so boring.
Oh.
Bro, there's no wonder Odin sleeps through half of this movie because it's so bad. It's not like there's anything actually like painfully terrible. Like there's nothing. It's like none of the jokes land, so it's not funny, but it's not so unfunny it's funny again. None of the plot points are stupidly ridiculous, right? It's just like they're not interesting or intriguing. It's just a boring movie. Like I watch it and I did not react a single time. Not a single half chuckle, not a single oh my god, that was terrible. What? Like it takes nothing out of me. I feel like it was a nothing burger of a movie.
There were a couple scenes. The biggest gripe I have is I feel like the old English, like the flowery prose that they gave everyone, wore thin pretty quick. Every time I watch this movie, I see Lady Sif and the Warriors 3, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they were here.
It does just feel like a random D&D adventuring party there.
It does, but it's like a weird... They also make like a weird joke about it later.
Yeah, I think... Alright, we should start from the beginning and talk about each specific writing plot point that we
First of all,
dislike.
I want to say... I think all of the lines written for Anthony Hopkins, I don't know if it's just because he's like a really good traditional actor and he's like saving the script, but I like him in this movie. Especially the scene where they are in the Bifrost chamber and he's like yelling at Thor. He's like, "You are a vain, cruel boy." I was like, this is good acting. Hello?
See,
this is like a good script happening.
When he was doing this to Thor, I was like, this is Dad behavior. You're just screaming at your son and banishing him for him to
do a genocide.
So no, but it's just so that he can go to Earth, fuck around for a bit, and figure out that he has to kill himself in order to be a good person again and make his dad cry. Like it's just terrible dad behavior.
I get it, but I just disagree. I think that that's fine for writing.
Yeah. I see, like, that's what I mean. Like, both the mindset of Odin and Loki in this film are just so convoluted. Like, you're sending Thor on this hero's journey that doesn't make sense, that he has literally no way to know is actually supposed to be, like, a redemption journey for himself. And then Loki takes advantage of that. And then the only way for Thor to realize that this is a redemption story is for all of his friends to come down and be like, hey, actually, you're supposed to come back. And then he instantly is like, oh, I guess I have to sacrifice myself, and that's how I'm worthy. Like, it's just like, it doesn't make sense.
I think what it is that it was Odin acting out of anger, and he was already like starting to change his mind about it before Loki yelled him into a coma. Like he was already like, I don't know, maybe.
Well, I mean, it sounds like he and his mom was like, everything he does has a reason, and Thor will come back to us soon enough.
But it's also figure was like, you should bring Thor back, and he was like, no, I don't wanna.
Oh no, I want to be king.
I'm gonna tell him you hate him. Actually, that's so fucking awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah, a lot of the writing, I will say, I love Darcy as a character.
I also love
not
Darcy.
a fan of her in this movie. Eric Selvig, I also really liked. I think he was probably the best of the three. No, you know what? I just think I don't like Jane Foster that much in this movie.
Yeah, I don't like Jane Foster. I don't like Chris Hemsworth. I think them together have zero chemistry. I don't think either of them know what's happening. But on the other side, seeing Eric Selvig and Darcy Lewis fuck around this entire movie is very funny. And Darcy Lewis as a kind of just undergrad student working on a research project is very relatable.
I really like
that is the only joke that I thought was funny in this entire film. Was are you supposed to be a science student? And she's like, I'm a political science. And then Jane Foster is like, she's the only one who applied, which is true.
Just like a really minor spoiler for the first 5 minutes of episode 3 of WandaVision. She does come back in that show as like a full-fledged doctoral physicist who like knows what she's talking about, who's like smarter than the members of SHIELD in the room with her, and that's such a good character progression for me.
That's so funny.
Because she's also still like a goofy asshole in that show too. I love her.
I think a lot of it has to do with Kat Dennings being really funny.
She's so good.
I love Kat Dennings a lot.
I really like. I love the scene where Eric gets shit-faced drunk, and Stellan Skarsgård is so good at acting drunk. My favorite part is he's laying on the bed. He's like, I still don't think you're the god of thunder, and he puts his hand on his cheeks and said, "But you ought to be." That's so good.
What you ought to be. But even the scene before that where they're like drinking at the bar, it's supposed to be comedic and it's not. It just doesn't land. The way they just keep making eyes at each other as they're sipping their beer, it's just not it, man. It's just not it.
It really makes me that's what I'll say about the writing. This is getting a little bit into character, but writing and character mix a lot. Loki is a lot less trickster in this movie and more fucking maniac.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it kind of makes sense because it's like this movie is Loki less so being a trickster and more so having an identity crisis and actual panic attack on stage. Like he's just way
better. Even like Avengers, he cracks so many more like one-liner jokes, like little wisecracks, and he's so much more like conniving, and especially like he's the only good part about Thor: The Dark World, and he's amazing in Ragnarok. I like really
Tom
rough start
Hiddleston.
To one of the best characters.
This is not his movie. He's not coming into his own as a character. He's not very defined. His motives don't make sense. The only way I can understand this crazy plot is that he was literally having an episode because he found out he was a frost giant and now he's freaking the fuck out and just trying to big brain it in the littlest tiniest brain possible.
The first glimpse, looking at my notes, the first glimpse I got into the writing not being that good is in the first scene of the movie when they're driving up to the anomaly, and Darcy says, Jane, you might want to see this. And I was like, okay.
It's so bad. I don't even think the bit where he gets hit by a car is that funny.
Well, my mom laughed out loud when he got hit the second time because I think she forgot about it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that is kind of a good... The way it's framed and the way it's shot, I think, makes it work. I get it.
Don't get me on the fucking shooting of this film. We'll get there, but...
we'll get there. Yeah. The prime example, I think, of the writing being bad. Here's what I wrote for the scene with Lao Fei.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he and Odin were two men wizened by time, both learning the mistake of war. Because the facial acting in this one scene is really good, where he's mostly in the dark. And he says, you don't know the horror that you'll bring upon our people. I do. And I was like, oh, so he's not the villain in this, huh? And then then nope, no, I was wrong. And then in every other scene, he's just a one-note, like, conniving, like, hee, I'm going to kill Odin now, villain. And it's like, God damn it, why'd you ruin his fucking character?
Yeah, I think this movie kind of would have been more funny if it was just, like, entirely a Loki thing where like Odin and Laufey both did not want to do this and Loki kind of tricked them into it, but instead it just looks like Loki's having a panic attack and Laufey is taking advantage of it and Odin's asleep because the movie's too boring.
Yeah. True. I mean, hey, it's
the romance writing is terrible. It's just like not good. Like, you know what? They rush it so quickly, and it's like they start the monologue at night by the fire because like she's just immediately obsessed with him, puts him in her ex's clothing. That's weird.
Hey, you know, if Chris Hemsworth walked up to me,
fair enough. But like, and then like when they start like when they're by the fire and he's like, oh, you almost got it right. This Hubble telescope, and she's like Hubble. Yeah. And it's like really awkward, and then he starts to explain like the Asgardian tree and stuff and like the 9 realms or whatever the fuck, and it's just like it's so awkward, and it's so awkward that they like quieted it early, I feel like, and then they vaguely faded it into like black so that it was like and they talked and it was good. I swear we can't show it on camera because we can't write good enough to show it. And then like the
we don't know enough about science or Norse mythology to do this properly.
And then it's like they have breakfast and he makes eggs and they smile at each other, and then fucking Eric and Darcy are like, oh, thank you, this is awesome. And it's like, what is happening?
This might be just because, like every living human being with a pulse, I have a little bit of a crush on Natalie Portman.
Okay.
And I just think she's a better actor than Liv Tyler. I bought and liked the romance plot a lot more than I did in The Hulk, but I still didn't like it.
I was not a fan. I didn't buy it at all.
I find their chemistry more believable than Banner and Ross, but I still don't think it was very good.
Yeah, I still don't believe it was quite real. Let's get to the whole weird convoluted plot of Odin needing Thor to kill himself, or not kill himself, but sacrifice himself to show that he is not cocky bastard.
Well, I don't think that was the plan.
I know, but like that was what did it, right? Him killing him walking up to the beast and going, "Take my life," and then Odin sheds a tear, and then now he has his powers back. And that's
you just said that like a "take my wife" bit.
that aside of being freaky, whatever, dumb. When he gets to Asgard and him and Loki start to fight, and Loki, this god of trickery and magic, gets in a fist fight with him. He does 2 beams and clones himself twice for a total of maybe 5 seconds of magic in a 1-minute fight.
Yep.
Why is he fist fighting Thor for 45 seconds and only doing magic for 5 of those seconds when its whole thing is magic and Thor's whole thing is beating the shit out of people? Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's just like it's like if instead of a battle of wits and like IDs, the Dark Knight ended with Batman and Joker just fucking pummeling each other for no reason. Like, that's not what the Joker is. That's not what Loki is. He's not a...
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's
even if they were to fight, which again, like, I think Loki is a trickster god, wants to trick, connive, plot, whatever. If he was to fight him, he would be using magic. Like, he would be doing his whole thing, or he'd be tricking someone else into fighting him for, like, getting into a fist fight with your brother makes no sense when you know your brother is like one of the gods of fist fighting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh my god.
Getting into directing, cinematography, and CGI, just before we get into like casting and acting and character design, I hate how this movie was shot. The amount of like close-ups on people's face that like last a little bit too long had me thinking this shit was One Piece. Like I was waiting for the God. One Piece edit to come out. Like I even wrote it down.
There's so many fucking close-up shots. There's so many just fucking shot reverse shot, shot reverse shot, shot reverse shot dialogue shots in this fucking movie.
It's just it genuinely makes the movie feel so much longer than it actually is. Like I feel like you could cut half of that shit and it wouldn't sacrifice like any of the visual quality or any of the plot, and it would just make the movie shorter. This should not have been a 2-hour movie. This movie was like 45 minutes of content, and then they chalked another hour in for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just so much that could have been cut.
There's just nothing, like there's so little substance.
Anything with the Warriors 3 is like... It's just like, who even gives a fuck about any of them?
The CGI was okay. Nothing to write home about.
CGI, hey, that's what I was gonna say. I was shocked at how fucking beautiful this movie was, especially for 2011. The scenes on Jotunheim were a little dark, but like this whole movie was really like either too bright or too dark. All of Asgard was, I was like, oh my god, this was 2011? Really? This is fucking great looking.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. There was nothing like I think frost giants looked really weird. They also didn't really look like... Here's just a minor nitpick. Maybe I don't understand Norse mythology and how big a frost giant is supposed to be, but none of them are giant. They all just look like they're 8 feet tall. And I feel like giant is... There's humans. There's humans that are 8 feet tall. Frost giants, Norse mythology. Let's look it up. I want to know. Height.
You're just looking it
15 to 30 feet tall.
Jesus.
20 to 30 feet tall. Yeah. No, these guys look like just a little bit taller.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they also just kind of looked awkward. Like, just the CGI on the skin and stuff. But, like, that's kind of to be expected, really.
Yeah.
But I thought the, like, magic, the big metal thing, like, when it turned around to face Civ, that looked cool. Like, that was good for 2011. Like, that was kind of fire.
Yeah, dude. Every scene with the Destroyer in it was great.
Yeah.
It's so good. I really loved the couple references they made where the Destroyer dropped down and then one of the agents was like, is that one of Stark's? And Coulson was like, I don't know, he doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, that was
cute.
It was cute. A cutesy little line there.
So that is happening. That would be happening just like, if not a couple days after the ending, during the finale bit of Iron Man 2. So either the battle at the Stark Expo just happened or is about to happen. There's continuity between the early MCU films that I keep forgetting was a thing. And it's nice to see it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, character design... Loki's costume is really good.
It is really good.
They nailed it right out the gate.
Yeah.
The Warriors 3 are very forgettable in design.
I think they do like nail, like they look very.
They look good.
They
it's
look
just
like a
they're
D&D
not,
party. Like if you showed me the
Yeah.
D&D movie and it was the Warriors 3 and Thor, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. That's a D&D party.
Odin's design's pretty good. Thor's costume, I like the slightly revised version in the Avengers a little more. But, you know. His eyebrows. His fucking eyebrows. His fucking eyebrows? No.
What?
They dyed his eyebrows blonde.
I literally didn't
and
notice.
It looks fucking terrible.
I genuinely had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that.
It's like so obvious.
I think overall, I would say the casting is really good. Just knowing where they're going. I think the plot was terrible. But I think Chris Hemsworth is a spectacular Thor, right? I think Tom Hiddleston nails Loki. Very good Loki. Kat Denning did a fantastic job as Darcy Lewis, one of the only reasons I like this movie at all.
Idris Skarsgård.
Idris Elba as Heimdall. Oh my god, is that gold? Is that gold? The most like Heimdall is well written in this movie and well acted. He's very funny. I love Idris Elba. He does a great job. Jamie Alexander as Sif. I like Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Obviously awesome. Stellan Skarsgård as Eric Selvig. Perfect. And here's my my random like take out there.
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson as Volstagg. He did such. I think he was overacting the whole time.
Which one was Volstagg?
Volstagg was like the dwarf beard, like the ginger.
Oh yes,
he was.
I really like the scene where he's eating really fast.
But he's overacting the whole time, and it's really funny. Like it's really good, yeah. And it's like I don't know, it's like funny characterization of this character. Like when Thor dies, if you like cut to that scene where they're all like standing there when Thor dies, he looks so distraught. He looks devastated. The rest of them
really good.
The rest of them are like, "Oh no, Thor is dead," and he's like devastated. I thought it was so funny.
It's really a lot of the acting was good. I feel like the acting kind of saved a lot of the lamer parts of the script.
Yeah, it was mostly the writing that was terrible. I think the casting was good. I think most of the time the actors were doing well. I personally did not even kind of like Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. I just didn't think it worked. I just didn't think it worked. I think they could have done a different actress.
Better in Love and Thunder.
I don't want to talk about that movie.
We'll talk about it eventually.
But yeah, I didn't like Natalie Portman in this movie, but I liked everyone else pretty much. I think Jamie Alexander actually did a killer job as Sif.
Especially for being such a nothing character.
Like has very little screen time, and I think she owns her presence on stage when she is there, you know? Like it's
Man, I sure hope she does something important later.
Me too. Me too.
The most important thing she does is die at the beginning of Love and Thunder. They replaced her with Valkyrie so fast.
She was Anyway, I
have a fun fact about the casting of Anthony Hopkins.
Two thumbs up to literally everyone in this movie. I did not like Natalie Portman, but everyone else I loved. I loved everyone else.
Anthony Hopkins did not want to be in this movie.
Really?
When he signed the deal with Marvel, his agent just told him it was Thor, and he assumed that it was a movie about actual Norse mythology, and when he found out it was with Marvel, he wanted to cancel his contract, but they already signed him for a 4-movie deal, so he had to.
What?
They ended his deal early even by killing him off at the beginning of Ragnarok, which is why when we watched Thor the Dark World, I pointed out he just does not want to fucking be there.
That's
at all.
Crazy.
Yeah, he got the same thing happened to Ben Affleck. It's like they got tricked into doing Marvel movies.
Wait, what Marvel movie was Ben Affleck?
He was also in Thor. He was the main villain in Love and Thunder.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
And his agent signed him up for it because Ben Affleck thought it was just like about Norse mythology, and when he found out it was a Marvel movie, he fucking fired his agent. Which is fair.
Oh, anyway. So acting,
cinematography,
generally okay. Characters, casting, character design. We talked about the cinematography was terrible. What did you find any metaphors or symbolism in this movie?
The one thing I wanted to point out for it was a cool shot. Like when they come in and they're like, "All Father, we need to speak to you urgently," and like cuts to the side and it's like Loki's shadow over the throne.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool shot.
Fair enough.
They call attention to the hammer as a metaphor once, and they don't really play with it too much, but I thought it was interesting. Like when at the beginning where he says a hammer could be a weapon of war or a tool to build.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's kind of cool. A fitting weapon for a king, and I was like, yeah, that's
true. That is cool.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
But also then like they didn't really do anything with it, so
Yeah.
You take what you can.
Like, I think vaguely there throughout all of the Thor movies.
God. Yeah, I couldn't find any. There was no like real symbolism or metaphor as far as I could tell.
No.
It really was a movie. Here's my theory. Here's my grand theory that we're going to see if it's true or not. Is that good Marvel movies are about something, like more than what they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I muted you. Oops. Hold on. I just realized I couldn't hear you because I muted my computer by accident.
That's crazy.
Sorry. So like WandaVision, one of my favorite shows in the MCU, it's literally about Wanda and Vision in a sitcom, but it's also about coping with grief and the loss of a loved one.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, fucking phenomenal movie. It's about the team getting together for the first time, but it's about mental health and depression and coping with feeling alone. Captain America, the first Avenger, is about Steve Rogers becoming Captain America, but it's also about making a difference and rising above what people think of you to become a better person. And there's like message and theme. All of my favorite Marvel movies have something going on, and all of my least favorite don't. This is one of the movies that doesn't.
It really does have nothing happening.
It's not about
anything.
Like coping with one's place in the universe or whatever. It's just about Thor going on a little adventure. It's like
I think
who cares?
I think the message that they keep trying to be the takeaway of every single Thor movie and Thor and Loki movie is this thing where it's like, like family is super important and brotherly bonds are super important, but like also family doesn't necessarily have to be blood. You can be blood family even if you're not related. And like I feel like that's what they're trying to always say, but they just never do it well. They never like, if this is what they're going for, why did they do so much of this movie, I don't know. I feel like
so much dialogue in service of nothing.
They eventually kind of get there. I think with the Loki TV show and the Infinity War and like Endgame, like that, they kind of get there where it's like this is their relationship to each other is the most important thing that defines their character trait, and that's really cool and awesome actually. And they are well written pair, and it's like some of the closest things you can get to a really honest and real and awesome depiction of like family and brotherly love. But like oh my god, is this not that? This isn't that, and it's not gonna be that for so long.
It's really, they just never figure out what to do with Thor, I don't think. And this is the perfect, like, they do not know what they're doing with any of the cosmic characters.
Yeah. So do we do Stan Lee first, or do we do what's it called first?
Stan Lee.
Then post credits.
I think that this was the best Stan Lee cameo.
This is the best Stan Lee cameo so far. I totally agree.
A big fan. I want to say. Oh my god, that's one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie is the fucking redneck tailgate that gets going on around Thor's hammer, because that's just a real thing that would happen.
Absolutely,
and they're all acting so believably there, and it's so fucking funny.
You know, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they just put a really heavy hammer in the middle of, of fucking Texas.
If that was real footage.
And saw what happened. Like, that, it was so realistic, and it was so good. I thought that was really well done, actually.
I've met that guy
Never mind,
before.
that's my favorite. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of the entire movie, is that one scene. And it's so good, culminating with the, like, did I get it? And then the back of his truck falling off.
I've met that guy before, I swear to God. The guy, like, walked up first, pulled him, put his hands on his, like, huh. Like, I know that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so fucking good.
It is very real. Post-credit scene.
Before we talk about the post-credit scene, there's a little Easter egg I want to talk about. Comic lore that seeped into the... they referenced it twice. I thought they only referenced it once. Donald Blake is a comic character. When Thor was first created in the Marvel Universe, every hero needed a secret identity. That's just how it was. It was really stupid. So when Thor was not running around Thoring about with his big hammer, he would turn Mjolnir into an umbrella, and he would do like a Clark Kent type of thing where he took on the identity of mild-mannered Donald Blake, who was like shorter and wimpier looking, and then he'd grab his hammer and turn into Thor.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The original lore was if he went 10 minutes, or if he went 10 seconds without physically touching the hammer, he would turn back into Donald Blake.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
That's so crazy.
It's really strange. And so they paid homage to it. I feel like it would have been better if they only referenced it once instead of twice, because it's the name of Jane's ex and the fake name that Eric uses to get him out of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. The whole like Eric getting him out of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they like look up the thing and then it says ID and it says falsified information. And
then Coulson just like plays along with it. Is really
yeah,
funny.
but like why would it say falsified information in big red letters on the TV screen? It doesn't make sense.
I think I found a plot hole too.
What?
So one of the reasons Loki's plan fails is because he uses the Bifrost to go from Asgard to Jotunheim and back after talking with the Frost Giants, and Heimdall's like, I couldn't see you when you were gone. What are you planning? And that was like the beginning of his undoing.
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
Because
he went to Earth and back without using the Bifrost.
So in the movie he explains there are ways in which we can travel between the worlds without using the Bifrost, Heimdall. But now that I'm king, I don't need to use them. And then he orders Heimdall to do stuff.
Yeah, but he was king when he went to Earth, and he didn't... So, like, why would he fucking risk Heimdall betraying him?
Why the fuck did he do anything?
Loki's motivation made no sense. Like, what was his fucking goal?
The whole point was that he was gonna genocide the Frost Giants and also make sure Thor can't be king so that he looks really good. And it was just like, there are so many easier ways to do that aren't this complex. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
It
like
literally just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Post-credit scene. I don't care. I know it's setting up the Avengers, which I should be excited for, but like,
yeah,
cool Tesseract, cool Loki's in the mirror, cool. It looks like Eric Selvig is under Loki's control.
Well, I was gonna say I actually really liked this post-credit.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was.
Go
cool.
ahead. Why do you think it was cool?
I just think like not knowing what the Avengers is, like thinking for the credits, oh Loki died, wow, and then seeing that, I was when I was but a wee bab, I was like, whoa,
Loki's alive and he's mind controlling Selvig.
Well, I guess that's worth a look.
I
didn't realize how fucking dumb Nick Fury is, honestly. I keep forgetting. But watching these movies back, I'm like, wow, he's either not doing anything or wrong. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's like so fun. It's great. No, I love it. It's great. It's... Oh, God. Dude, I love Thor. Thor's my favorite movie now. Oh my God, you've convinced me. Thor is the best one.
Yeah, it's the best one. It's
just boring. It's got good CG. It's got
good casting,
got good costume design, good casting, but the writing's not great.
The writing's not
The
great.
pacing's just so bad.
Absolutely terrible. Like, and because the casting's good, it sometimes tricks you into thinking that the acting might be good, but the acting can only be good if the writing is good and the writing is bad.
Yeah.
They're good actors, but you can't... They're trying their best with the terrible lines that they were given.
So, is this movie good?
No. I would give it...
the worst movie we've seen so far?
I would give it 2 sleepy Odins out of 5.
2 sleepy Odins out of 5.
He was so sleepy.
I would give it... I'm going to do it out of 10, just to spite you. I would give it 5... No, I'd give it 4 big, greased-up, oily Lokis out of 10.
Okay. Is this the worst movie? No. Hulk was worse.
No.
But this one was more boring.
That's what I was going to say.
This one was more boring, so they get the same score. But I dislike this one more. There was nothing funny about it.
So... I did make separate graphics for us, so I could show both of our rankings side by side.
Okay.
And so far, the literal only difference is that the 2 Iron Men have swapped places.
I said Iron Man 1 was better than Iron Man 2.
And I said Iron Man 2 was better. That's the only difference between our opinions so far.
What can we say?
It's really
We're very
good.
like-minded. So how does this movie fit to the MCU? Other than setting up literally the Avengers with the Selvig mind control?
And there's not a lot of crossover in this one, TBH. There's like not a lot of reference. Or like, there's a couple cute little references. I think they reference Steve Rogers at one point, but I can't remember. No, they reference Hulk. That Eric Selvig says after they get all their shit stolen by S.H.I.E.L.D. He's like, I used to know a brilliant scientist to work with gamma radiation, and one day he just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And he's talking about Banner, and I was like, oh, I know that guy.
I was wondering if they were talking about Banner or the other guy.
They could have been talking about Stern?
Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know. It could be any. Yeah. This movie's just like boring. You know what? I was thinking we weren't going to be able to stretch this one to an hour. And you know what?
We did not.
Thinking I was
but
right.
We got close enough, I think.
We got 45 minutes in.
You know, this is about how many minutes of plot there was in the movie, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
There wasn't actually that much to talk about. The movie's boring. The acting choices were, like, the choices of actors and actresses was a good choices. I hope to see them with better writing in the future.
Well, a couple of them.
I said I hope.
A couple of them. Well, there's an episode. We're not gonna watch What If, for this.
What if the writing was
like
good?
Superfluous. No. There's an episode of What If season 3, where Darcy Lewis and Howard the Duck have a kid together.
What?
I swear to Christ, I'm not making that up.
That's crazy.
It's so fucking weird. And people hate it.
Incredibly weird.
Where Darcy and Howard the Duck get married and have a kid. It's a real episode of What If in season 3. I swear.
Okay. All right.
The show fucking sucked. Oh my god. So that's it. I have a feeling we're about to disagree on the next one.
on
the next movie. We may be off in February. I don't know. It depends how busy I get. Because it's really only my schedule that matters.
So true.
Well, my partner's visiting from the U.S., so
yeah.
I might be too busy to record a show.
Sounds good.
But maybe not. We'll see.
Let me know.
I love it. You hate it. Tune in next week where we talk about...
Let's talk about that.
Captain America, the First Avenger. Oh my god. Look, I'm just saying it would be a lot better if his name was literally anything other than Captain America.
I love...
Like if they called him someone else.
I love Captain America. He's so mega.
He's not. He would be the opposite.
All right.
That movie, I will make the case that movie is anti-military.
Okay. All right. We'll catch us later in the next episode of...
Captain America.